Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's severe weather update. So today we have a slight risk of severe weather across much of Florida, southeastern Georgia in the yellow, and marginal risk in the dark green, covering much of the deep south and southeast. Looking at today's tornado threat, we have a 5% chance of tornadoes touching down within 25 miles of location across much of Florida and southeastern Georgia in this brown area today, including Tampa, Melbourne, Orlando, Jacksonville, Savannah, and Tallahassee. So make sure you're preparing for a few scattered tornadoes if you live in the brown area today. And unfortunately, the tornado threat will also continue into tonight. We have a 2% chance of tornadoes touching down within 25 miles of location in the green area, extending from the western Florida panhandle through southeastern Alabama, through central Georgia into central South Carolina. So make sure you're looking out for an isolated tornado if you live in the green area today. Looking at the damaging wind threat today, we have a 15% chance of damaging straight line winds of 58 miles per hour stronger within 25 miles of location across much of Florida and southeastern Georgia in the yellow area, and a 5% damaging wind risk in the brown area today. So make sure you're preparing for some isolated to scattered damaging wind gusts if you live in the brown and yellow areas today. And looking at the hail threat, we have a 15% chance of quarter-sized hail or larger within 25 miles of location along the central and northern east coast of Florida into southeastern coastal Georgia in this yellow area, and a 5% hail risk in the brown area. So make sure you're preparing for some large hail, especially if you live in areas like Melbourne, Orlando, Jacksonville, and Savannah today. Now, timing out the storms today, we're not going to be seeing much going on this morning, but we do have this large cluster, the large mesoscale convective system in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico, and this is going to move east through the morning, and we're going to start to see some storms move into the Florida panhandle by around noon. These should not be severe, but as we go into the afternoon, the mesoscale convective system is going to move on shore into the Big Bend of Florida and then towards Tampa around 5 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, 4 o'clock Central Daylight Time, and then as we go into the afternoon around 6 Eastern Time, we're going to be seeing a lot of storms firing along the east coast of Florida. These will likely be the storms that produce tornadoes and large hail are going to be the storms along the eastern coast of Florida around 5 and 6 Eastern Time. So make sure you're preparing now for that. And we could be seeing embedded tornadoes within this mesoscale convective system as well as it pushes through. Going into 7 o'clock, we should see most of our storms push offshore, with some storms going into Georgia, possibly some damaging winds and large hail. And then this is where our second, more concerning round comes in, the overnight hours. So around 1 a.m., start looking out for some discrete storms moving towards Florida. And as we go into 3 a.m., we could start to see a line of possibly rotating storms, supercells moving towards Tampa, the overnight hours going into 4 a.m., moving into Tampa through Gainesville towards Ocala. These could be producing some scattered tornadoes, unfortunately, during the overnight hours through 5 a.m. towards Orlando, towards Jacksonville, towards St. Augustine. Watch out for large hail and some isolated to scattered tornadoes in the overnight hours. Going into 5 a.m., the storms will push over Orlando towards Naples, and then going into 6 a.m., we could be seeing some possibly tornadic storms around Savannah, Georgia. And then even as we go into 7 a.m. tomorrow, we could be seeing some tornadic storms near Charleston, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And then the storms will once again push offshore by around 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, but we could still see some supercells across South Florida all the way through 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. So make sure you're preparing today for severe weather across much of Florida and southeastern Georgia, and especially tonight, as we do unfortunately have a nocturnal tornado threat across much of Florida and southeastern Georgia tonight. So make sure you have your NOAA Weather Radios turned on during the overnight hours to receive alerts for overnight tornado warnings. Thanks for watching today's severe weather update. Stay safe. Have a wonderful day, my friends.